Okay guys, we've got section 4 and this is unusual for section 4. Section 4 is mainly one word only. Most of the time 90% chances are in section 4 you will get one word only, but otherwise there can be multiple choice, there can be matching. This is matching type of questions. So Australian Aboriginal rock paintings. Aboriginal means the old civilization of Australia, the old people, and their rock painting. Rock painting is on the rocks, they have painted certain things. That is what they call rock art as well. And rock art is very common in Ielts reading. There are some passages on it and Ielts listening. So Australian Aboriginal rock painting. Which painting style have the following features? Now listen, questions 31 to 36, these are features. And options, painting styles, they are dynamic, yam, and modern. And by the way, if you don't know the meaning of yam, will it be troublesome? Not at all, just a style. Yeah, for example, I say lipstick ka naam hai yam. Now, it's a lipstick. Do you need to know naam? Matlab kya hai? Not at all, okay? Dynamic, even you don't need to know the meaning of dynamic. Dynamic, yam, modern, that's it. Now, question number 31. Figures revealing bones. So they have figures which are revealing bones. जैसे नहीं हड्डियों का ढांचा होता है, आपने देखा होगा, खोपड़ी होती है and all that. So figures revealing bones, is it dynamic or yam or modern? अब जरा सुनिएगा ऑडियो को, okay? And then decide. And answer is going to be A, B or C. Let's see.
Section 4. You will hear a lecturer giving a talk about Australian rock art to a group of archaeology students.
Good morning, everyone. I've been invited to talk about my research project into Australian Aboriginal rock paintings. The Australian Aborigines have recorded both real and symbolic images of their time on rock walls for many thousands of years. Throughout the long history of this tradition, new images have appeared and new painting styles have developed. And these characteristics can be used to categorize the different artistic styles. Among these are what we call the dynamic, yam, and modern styles of painting. One of the most significant characteristics of the different styles is the way that humans are depicted in the paintings. The more recent paintings show people in static poses, but the first human images to dominate rock art paintings over 8,000 years ago were full of movement. These paintings showed people hunting and cooking food, and so they were given the name dynamic to reflect this energy. It's quite amazing considering they were painted in such a simple stick-like form. In the yam period, there was a movement away from stick figures to a more naturalistic shape. However, they didn't go as far as the modern style, which is known as X-ray because it actually makes a feature of the internal skeleton as well as the organs of animals and humans.
X-ray. Last 2, 3, 4 sentences contains the answer. The last style is X-ray, and which is figuring, revealing bones and all that, and that is modern. Just listen to this last part. I play it again. Don't worry.
Section 4.
Hunting and cooking food,
Now,
and so they were given the name dynamic to reflect this energy. It's quite amazing considering they were painted in such a simple stick-like form. In the yam period, there was a movement away from stick figures to a more naturalistic shape. However, they didn't go as far as the modern style,
As far as the modern style,
which is known as X-ray because
which is known as X-ray. अब X-ray में आपको हड्डियां ही नजर आती हैं. Yes, skeleton, bones and all that. So 31 answer is C. Okay, now 32 rounded figures. Now आपने ये देखना है कि rounded figures का किस में आए थे? Dynamic में आए थे, yam में आया था, या फिर मॉडर्न में आया था. ठीक है, लेट्स सी.
the yam style of painting got its name from the fact that it featured much curvier figures that actually resemble the vegetable called a yam.
Okay, much curvier figures. Much curvier means rounded figures. And which one is that? Yam. Please listen again.
The yam style of painting got its name from the fact that it featured much curvier figures that actually resemble the vegetable called a yam, which is
Vegetable called yam. curvier vegetable. Okay, so rounded figures, answer is B, yam. But you will not write yam, you will just write B. Okay, question number 33, figures with parts missing. Figures with parts missing mean किसी का सर नहीं है, किसी का बाजू नहीं है, some parts missing. Let's see what that is. Figures with parts missing, 33.
The modern paintings are interesting because they include paintings at the time of the first contact with European settlers. Aborigines managed to convey the idea of the settlers' clothing by simply painting the Europeans without any hands, indicating the habit of standing with their hands in their pockets.
So, C, that's right, modern and without hands. Exactly, without hands means figures with parts missing. So, parts are hands. Exactly. Question number 34, figures smaller than life size. Life size means एक इंसान का कद इतना होता है उससे छोटा बनाया. Figures smaller than, हाथी बड़ा होता है उसका फिगर बनाया उससे छोटा. So figures smaller than life size. Life size का मतलब है original size जो उसका होता है. It's that. So let's see. Question number 34.
Size is another characteristic. The more recent images tend to be life size or even larger, but the dynamic figures are painted in miniature.
Dynamic miniature. Miniature means, yeah, figures smaller than life size. Miniature means mini. So smaller than life size. Miniature. Okay, 35. Sea creatures. मैं दोबारा कह रहा हूं इस टेस्ट को जाके रिपीट करना है, खपना है, एक एक वर्ड को देखना है, यहां पे क्या लिखा है, वहां पे क्या बोल रहे हैं, फिर उसको समझना है. ऐसे नहीं इसको छोड़ देना, वरना लिस्टिंग सही नहीं होगी कभी भी. और इस आज की क्लास से अगली क्लास के दरमियान कम से कम 10 लिस्टिंग के प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट सॉल्व करने, फिर बात बनेगी. फिर अगली क्लास में आप ऐसे अकड़ के बैठेंगे, फिर भोले वाले नहीं, सही वाले समझ के. एग्जैक्टली ये. और अगर इसको जाके छोड़ दिया, फेंक दिया, तो फिर कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. और आज से मॉक टेस्ट के दरमियान, यानी परसों आपका मॉक टेस्ट है, कम से कम 5 से 8 लिस्निंग के टेस्ट सॉल्व करने, फिर कोर्स का फायदा होगा. फिर अभी जो जहाज गुजरा है इसमें आप बैठे होंगे इंशाल्लाह ताला. फिर आप नीचे देखें, ओए रॉयल पाम आया ही, ये खिड़की वाली सीट लेनी है. एग्जैक्टली. ये ना हो के वहां से ट्रेन पे गुजरे रॉयल पाम आया, ठीक है. तो जहाज पे गुजर के रॉयल पाम देखना है, ट्रेन से नहीं देखना. एग्जैक्टली. या चिंगची पे बैठे हुए तो जी रॉयल पाम आया, नहीं, जहाज से ऊपर से. एग्जैक्टली. अच्छा जी, लेट्स गो ऑन. सी क्रीचर्स देखते हैं क्या कहते हैं. डायनामिक, यैम और मॉडर्न.
Aboriginal rock art also records the environmental changes that occurred over thousands of years. For example, we know from the dynamic paintings that over 8,000 years ago, Aborigines would have rarely eaten fish, and sea levels were much lower at this time. In fact, fish didn't start to appear in paintings until the Yam period, along with shells and other marine images.
Fish didn't start appearing until the Yam period. So sea creatures came in Yam. Absolutely. Fish didn't start appearing. I play it again. Didn't start appearing. Fish का मतलब है sea creatures. दोबारा सुनिएगा.
Aboriginal rock art also records the environmental changes that occurred over thousands of years. For example, we know from the dynamic paintings that over 8,000 years ago, Aborigines would have rarely eaten fish, and sea levels were much lower at this time. In fact, fish didn't start to appear in paintings until the Yam period, along with...
Okay, until the Yam period. So means Yam period के बाद fish started appearing in painting. So sea creatures, option B, Yam. Question number 36, plants. So let's see, where were the plants in dynamic, Yam or modern? These are painting styles.
The paintings of the Yam tradition also suggest that during this time, the Aborigines moved away from animals as their main food source and began including vegetables in their diet, as these feature prominently.
It is again B, Yam, and they moved from animals to plants. I play this one again.
The paintings of the Yam tradition also suggest that during this time, the Aborigines moved away from animals as their main food source and began including vegetables in their diet, as these feature prominently.
Okay, as these featured prominently. Vegetables, so vegetables की जगह पे plants का word आ गया. Okay. Alright guys, now let's go on. We've got questions 37 to 40. Complete the notes below. write no more than 2 words. So this time, no more than 2 words and notes completion. Okay, let's start. Rainbow Serpent project. Serpent is another word for snake. और ये जो तस्वीर है इसमें सांप नजर आ रहा है? Yeah. Rainbow Serpent project. It's the name of the project. Aim of project: to identify the dash used as the basis for the rainbow serpent. To identify. Now they are going to replace this word identify and after that whatever they say, that will be the answer. So please listen.
So these paintings have already taught us a lot. But one image that has always intrigued us is known as the Rainbow Serpent. The Rainbow Serpent, which is the focus of my most recent project, gets its name from its snake or serpent-like body, and it first appeared in the Yam period 4,000 to 6,000 years ago. Many believe it is a curious mixture of kangaroo, snake and crocodile. But we decided to study the Rainbow Serpent paintings to see if we could locate the animal that the
To see if we could locate the animal. So if we could locate, अब identify को underline करें और यहाँ पे लिखें locate. ठीक है? Identify की जगह पे word क्या आ गया? Locate का. और ये repeat होंगे. Identify का word दोबारा जब मिलेगा Ielts पे कहीं पे, उसकी जगह पे locate का word आएगा. अब इसको जरा दोबारा सुनिएगा. 37
years ago. Many believe it is a curious mixture of kangaroo, snake and crocodile. But we decided to study the Rainbow Serpent paintings to see if we could locate the animal that the very first painters based their image on.
Okay, we could locate the animal that the very first painters based their image on. So the answer is animal. Let's go on. Yam period. Question number 38. Environmental changes led to higher. Higher को underline करें. Higher की जगह पे कोई और word आएगा और उसके साथ आंसर, यानी हायर का मतलब है ऊपर जाना, उसकी जगह पे इंक्रीज या राइज या कोई भी और ऐसा वर्ड. अब देखते हैं वो वर्ड क्या है. हायर.
The Yam period coincided with the end of the last ice age. This brought about tremendous change in the environment, with the sea levels rising and creeping steadily inland.
With the sea levels rising. अब हायर की जगह पे वर्ड क्या आ गया? राइजिंग. ठीक है, आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? Sea level. Okay, let's go on. Question number 39. Traditional activities were affected especially. अब जो ट्रेडिशनल एक्टिविटीज जो जिन पे इफेक्ट आया वो इफेक्ट हुई और उनमें एक एक्टिविटी का नाम लेंगे. स्पेशली, पर्टिकुलरली, मेनली या कुछ भी ऐसा. क्वेश्चन नंबर 39.
This flooded many familiar land features and also caused a great deal of disruption to traditional patterns of life, hunting in particular.
Hunting in particular. अब in particular की जगह पे क्या आ गया? Especially. ये सीख जाएं बस, फिर आप स्टेज पे बैठे होंगे, किसी दिन आइल्स पढ़ा रहे होंगे. ज्यादा हो गया? आपने तो अभी स्टेज पे बैठ जाना है. आपका तो माशाल्लाह मीनारे पाकिस्तान के ऊपर खड़े होकर लेक्चर देना है. ठीक है? Alright, so the answer is hunting. Question number 40. Rainbow Serpent images. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पे ऑडियो पहले बा चलेगी क्योंकि 2 पॉइंट्स के बाद एंड पे आंसर आ रहा है. तो सी हॉर्स को अंडरलाइन कर लें. ऑडियो को ट्रैक करना बड़ा जरूरी है. अगर आपने सिर्फ क्वेश्चन नंबर 40 पे पेन रखा हुआ है ना, बाकी की ऑडियो नहीं सुन रहे, तो आंसर आएगा और गुजर जाएगा. जब आंसर गुजर जाएगा फिर आपको झटका लगेगा, लेकिन उसके बाद कोई फायदा नहीं. इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन होती है कि दिमाग में रिटेन नहीं रहती. मतलब ये बातें याद रखना मुश्किल है. ठीक है, तो अब सी हॉर्स को अंडरलाइन करें. जब सी हॉर्स की बात करेंगे तो मतलब है कि ये यहां पे पहुंच गए. अनयूजुअल बिकॉज इट अपीयर्ड इन इनलैंड एरियाज. इनलैंड एरियाज को अंडरलाइन करें. जब इनलैंड एरियाज पे पहुंच जाए तो आपने अब एक्टिव हो जाना है. अब आपका आंसर आने लगा. क्वेश्चन नंबर 40. सिंबलाइजेस डैश इन एबोरिजिनल कल्चर. सिंबलाइजेस. अब सिंबलाइजेस की जगह पे वो सिंबल का वर्ड यूज कर सकते हैं. इट्स अ सिंबल ऑफ. सिंबलाइजेस की जगह पे साइन का वर्ड यूज कर सकते हैं. फर्स्ट करें, अगर हम इसका आंसर लिखते हैं सिंबलाइजेस लव, तो क्या होगा? सिंबल ऑफ लव, साइन ऑफ लव, समथिंग, पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ लव. इट पोर्ट्रेज लव, राइट? सो लेट्स सी क्वेश्चन नंबर 40.
New shores were formed and totally different creatures would have washed up onto the shores. We studied 107 paintings of the Rainbow Serpent and found that the one creature that matches it most closely was the ribboned pipefish, which is a type of seahorse. This sea creature would have been a totally unfamiliar sight in the inland regions where the image is found, and it may have been the inspiration behind the early paintings. So, at the end of the Ice Age, there would have been enormous changes in animal and plant life. It's not surprising, then, that the Aborigines linked this abundance to the new creatures they witnessed. Even today, Aborigines see the rainbow serpent as a symbol of creation, which is understandable given the increase in vegetation and the new life forms that featured when the image first appeared.
As a symbol of creation. So symbolizes creation, symbol of creation. ठीक हो गया. अब इसको प्लीज रिपीट कर ले. इस तरह के अगर आपने 10 टेस्ट खुद से सॉल्व कर लिए ना समझ के, तो 11वें पे आपके 35-38 करेक्ट आंसर्स आ जाएंगे. ठीक है. मेरे एक स्टूडेंट थे इंडियन पंजाब से, उसका नाम क्या था, तनवीर सिंह, नहीं रहने दें, तनवीर सिंह फ्रॉम इंडियन पंजाब. व्हेन ही स्टार्टेड उनका लिस्टिंग में 5 बैंड आता था. करते करते उन्होंने एक टेस्ट को किया, बार बार किया, अपने आंसर्स को इंप्रूव किया. व्हेन ही रीच 35 करेक्ट आंसर्स, ऑडियो की स्पीड तेज कर दी. ऑडियो की स्पीड 1.25. उस पर जब आंसर्स देखे पहली दफ़ा में 25 ठीक हुए, 28 ठीक हुए, 30 हुए. जब उसमें 35 आंसर ठीक हो गए, फिर उसके बाद अगेन ही इंक्रीज द स्पीड बाय 1.5. उस पर प्रैक्टिस किया एंड देन ही अचीव्ड 8777 एक्चुअली. लेकिन आपको ऑडियो की स्पीड चेंज करने से फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा. ठीक है, आप अपने हिसाब से चलें. और बस ये जो पॉइंट्स मैंने बताए हैं ना, अभी हमने जो 40 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हैं, अगर ये 40 के 40 पॉइंट्स आपको समझ आते हैं तो आपका 9 बैंड बनता है. 39 पे 9 बैंड है, 39 करेक्ट आंसर्स पे. ठीक है, और वो फिर जो जो पीछे आते जाएंगे वो फिर अकॉर्डिंगली आपका बैंड स्कोर बनेगा. राइट, ऑल द बेस्ट.